to big ball day. We're gonna roll our shoulders up, back and down before we get started. We're gonna open, step out a little bit, start to get that whole body into it. You know, big ball day requires a lot from us. And so we will move that body through space, trying to open up all those vertebrae, pulling those abs in. This time when we come down, we'll support ourselves. Roll through your cat and your cow, extending and rounding. Keep those knees bent, so you've got lots of good support. And then press that right shoulder and then round to your left and extend. So still cat-cowing. And then we'll drop the other way, and on that same angle or opposite angle, we'll roll and extend. Then we'll come back to center, shoulders out of your ears, abs in, big deep breath in. Exhale, walk it in, squeeze. Oh my goodness. Dogs running through Carol's property, and then shake that out. All right, okay, well, let's get started. We're gonna grab our ball. We're gonna bring it out in front of us. We want to have a wide stance, so probably wider than your mat, toes turned out. You're holding your arms straight out, so you don't want to have wimpy arms. Shoulders back and down. So let's just do a couple reminders. Shoulder retraction. So the movement is in your shoulders, not in your elbows. And then leave those shoulders back, squeeze the ball, sit down in a beautiful plie, and then rise up. So we're just doing up and down. If you want to come down, lift up on your tippy toes, come up. Heels down as you come down and lift on your tippy toes. So up and down. Adding those tippy toes if you want, or you could actually reverse it. Come down on your tippy toes, press into your heels and come up. So lift up, sit down, put your heels down, come up. Tippy toes, sit, heels down, up, or stay flat-footed, or stay on the tippy toes. Barbie feet, whatever you want to call it. We should start to feel these by now in our quads and glutes. Arms might be getting a little tired. Couple more. And relax. We'll go ahead. We're going to set that ball down either on your mat or the floor. Doesn't really matter for now. And we'll sit on top of it. And then again, we're going to get some movement through our spine before we do the fun stuff. So we're going to press those shoulders open. We're going to lift the chest. We're going to roll that ball behind us a little bit. And then we're going to round forward in that cat position, tucking and rounding. We're going to inhale cow. We're going to exhale cat. We're going to do a couple more. Inhaling cow. Exhaling cat. Get big movement through your pelvis. Inhale. And exhale, and then we're actually just going to work on that pelvis for just a second. So bring your feet into alignment, tuck and tip your hips, feet on the ground. Just feel that movement forward and back, and then try that movement side to side. And then put those together. So go back and to one side, back and to the other side, tuck back one side, tuck back other side, and then press out. Press out, tuck back, and then start to turn that into a little circle. So you round and you tuck. Make sure you go both ways. Kind of pelvic floor movement here is what we're doing. And then we'll come to center. And we're going to go ahead and widen our feet a little bit. And start a beautiful little easy bounce. Remember, when we're doing this bouncing on the ball, it's not like, let the body flop. It's a lift and a lift, right? So from your waistline to your head, you're a ballerina, being as beautiful as possible. Good. And then we're going to add a little step out, step out, step out, step out. You can do an arm and an arm. You can do both arms with both legs. And then if you want, you can do both legs out and it turns into a bit of a jumping jack. You can make this as aggressive as feels comfortable to you. Comfortable meaning you're not going to fall off the ball. Right? So you could lift up off the ball a little if you want. You just have to know where that ball is when you come down. We're just going to do a couple more, increasing that heart rate. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gentle bounce. Woo, slow it down. Extend through that tall spine. Thinking of lifting up out of those hips, pulling those ribs down. Slow that bounce down. And relax. Raise your right hand. Maybe it's too late. Repeat after me. I promise I will not fall off the ball. That's your turn. I hear you saying it. I see your lips moving. Don't just say watermelon. And relax. So just a couple quick reminders to keep that stability. Either have on shoes or be barefooted. Socks are slippery. If your mat is slippery, don't put it out in front of you, right? Unless it's a sticky mat. So those are the first 2 reminders. And then the one that we'll use most often is where your feet are. So let's widen those feet and roll forward just a little bit so you start to feel those abs. And that might feel really stable. You may not even feel your abs at this point. And then start to walk those feet in. The closer together you can see, the more wobbly that will be. I'm just going to turn sideways since that's where we're going to be most of the time. So I've hinged down. You want to end up with your knees over your ankles, right? You don't want to be way back like that. And then you decide, do you need more stability? You're always going to go wider base of support. If you need more challenge, ankles, knees, toes touch. Normally, we're going to have knees the same distance apart as the ankles, which is hip distance. And then shoulders out of your ears. We're going to support our head, but we're not going to pull on it, right? So just let your head drop back. Inhale, holding here. Exhale, lift up just an inch. Inhale, up and over an inch. Exhale, close. Up and over and close. Tiny movement, very intense on those abs. They don't get any break. Remember, when you go all the way up or come all the way down, you get a little recovery time. We're not doing that. 2 and 1. Now you're going to slide that ball a little bit more underneath your lower back and hips, but your head is off. Same thing, I'm supporting my head, chin is in a nodded yes position. I'm going to allow that to drop over, my ribs will drop up, and then I'm going to close my ribs. Up and over you go, close the ribs. So you can support your head more, but just make sure you don't bring the elbows in like that, right? And then if you want to add on, you lift your hips up at the same time that you lift your upper body. Think about really moving from those shoulder blades. That's the challenge, to not just let your neck curl up, but to actually press the ribs into the ball and get the shoulder blades off the ball for a moment. 2 more. The last one. Relax for a second. Go ahead and support the head completely. You can let your elbows come together. You could even pull that neck and get a little stretch. And then from this same position, here we go. Back of the neck is long. We're going to come into neutral. We're not going to be dropped down this time. We're going to lift up, shoulder blades off the ball, rotate. Come back to center, both shoulder blades down, lift up, both shoulder blades off, rotate the other way. Center, down, lift, rotate. Back to center and up and rotate. Down, up, rotate, center, down, up, continue. You guys just keep that going for me. And then take a little break. Once again, you're just going to support your head here. And then we're going to switch it up so that we end up with rolling even further, so that now our head is actually supported. I'm going to roll back a little bit so you guys can see me. So your head is on the ball and your hips are off. And probably you're going to want to have your arms wide for balance. So again, feet wide, squeeze those glutes, feel that work as if we're doing a bridge, because we kind of are, ribs in. This might be enough. A little more challenge, feet come hip distance. A little more challenge, they come together, right? But hips stay lifted. And then if you want that last level of challenge, legs go hip distance apart, lift a foot. Lift a foot. If you can lift a foot, lift a knee. If you can lift a knee, lift a leg into tabletop. If you can do that, all the way up, point the toes, and if you can do that, all the way up, point the toes and draw a circle in the air, right? So all the way up, little circle. But again, your head, neck, and shoulders are on the ground. If none of that's really working for you, go to whatever stance makes sense for you and think about the hips lowering an inch and lifting an inch. Lower and lift, lower and lift. Tiny, tiny, tiny movement. If you're trying to lift a foot or a leg, then make sure that you alternate. And then we're all gonna come on back up onto that ball. And you want to find just a nice stable position right on top of that ball for a little bit of play time here. You're going to bring your feet back and see if you can start to lift a foot or lift a foot. Maybe you can see if you can lift both feet and balance here. You can do that, then you're going to do that same little tuck that we did earlier when we had our feet on the ground. If that's not working, I'd rather you just hold here. And if you want that next challenge, feet off the ground side to side. And finally, you can circle. Make sure you try both ways. But again, just holding those feet off the ground is probably enough. If you start to fall like that, please catch yourselves. All right, that was playtime for now. And we're gonna head down. We're gonna do a couple more of the traditional Pilates exercises with the ball. So you're gonna lie down. First, we're just gonna bring that ball. Actually, we'll go ahead and leave it right up top to start with. So ball is just directly overhead. And we just want to give those arms a little squeeze, engage those triceps, deep breath in. Exhale, ab prep, lift up, try and get both shoulders off the ground. Inhale, reach your arms overhead, little extra challenge. Exhale, everything down, deep breath in. Exhale, lift. Inhale, stretch, reach. Exhale, down. Option, up and over you go. See if you can bounce the ball and catch the ball. It kind of depends on what is over your head, right? And that's not necessarily adding difficulty, it's just adding challenging coordination. You don't have to do it, but if you want to, add it on. Just 4 more like this, or whichever version you're doing. And relax. We're going to lift those legs in tabletop. And then we're going to float the head, neck, and shoulders off the ground for double leg stretch. We're going to extend the legs and the arms at the same time. And then we'll tap the ball with the knees. Reach, inhaling, exhale to tap. Inhale to reach, exhale to tap. Option, inhale, reach, exhale, grab the ball with those legs. Not by bringing the knees in like that. They stay at tabletop, but you just grab the ball. And they come just to tabletop, so you have to go up and get the ball and reach. And grab and reach. And grab and reach. Last option, stack the knees tabletop, roll almost up to teaser position, ball to your ankle, ball to your knee. You're not rolling all the way down, just halfway, extend. Come up, ball to your ankle, ball to your knee, and extend. And then we're all going to relax. We're going to let both knees rock over to one side, ball goes the other way, big twist. Knees can be stacked or one on top of the other, or crisscross. Back to center, other direction. Knees are either stacked up or crisscross them at the knees, no gap. And then back to center. We're going to put that ball between our thighs. You probably have to hold it in place, and then you're going to squeeze as hard as you can. Notice as you squeeze that ball with inner thighs, you're going to feel a little more engagement of those low abs, and then release the squeeze. Deep breath in, exhale, squeeze hard. Feel those abs change. Inhale, release the squeeze. 2 more times, exhale, squeeze. Inhale, release. Last time, you're gonna squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Inner thigh work, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Adding on, squeeze the ball with the hips. Squeeze, lift, baby bridge, squeeze, lift, preview for later, squeeze, lift, squeeze, lift, squeeze, lift, squeeze, lift, and relax. Let the ball go overhead, stretch your legs out for just a second. As a matter of fact, just bring the heels together, soles of the feet together, passive inner thigh stretch. Now stack those legs up just like that. Put the ball in between your knees, and you'll probably have to bring your feet apart, but knees are above your hips, ribs stay down for toe touch. Inhale, as that ball moves away, you're squeezing it between your thighs. Exhale, slowly bring it back up. If you want to point on the way down and flex on the way up, that's awesome. You're gonna get that inner thigh work. You're gonna feel those little abs. Well, the whole abs, all the abs. If you want a little more intensity, you can slide the ball up to your ankles and turn this into double leg lower. Again, I'm going to point on the way down, and I'm going to flex on the way up. I'm going to take my time, 2 counts down, 4 counts up. If you feel like that pulls on your back too much, go back to the bent knee, shorter lever, not as intense on that low back. Don't forget you're squeezing the ball. So many rolls. And then once again, we're going to take a break, soles of the feet together, arms overhead, just hanging on to the ball for a moment. You can bend your elbows, let the arms rest. Passive inner thigh stretch. And then we're going to extend those legs up. And we're all going to go ahead with straight legs this time. We're going to tick-tock those legs side to side. And then we'll start to rotate the opposite leg on top. So when I go left, right leg comes on top. We're going to go right, left leg comes up. So keep that going. Sorry, Charlie horse. And then if you want to, you can turn that into a circle. Just want to make sure you rotate the opposite way every time. You can even lift the hips up a little when you come up and over. So it becomes a corkscrew. And then finally, you get to rest for a second. Legs just flop out on that ball. If your inner thighs are still aching, let those feet rest on the ball. Take a moment before we move on. Okay, that's your moment. Ball goes on top of the ankles and the shin. And then we're going to curl our forehead here. If it's a bad idea for you to roll, you're going to rock side to side. Otherwise, you roll up, hold for a moment. On the inhale, exhale to roll, inhale to hold, exhale to roll, inhale to hold. 2 more, rolling and lifting. Last time, roll, lift, and sit. Woo! Pull those glutes out from under you as you scoot your hips back. Little bend of the knees. Put your hands on top of the ball and push down. Grow tall through your spine, hinge forward. So you want to think about doing that same thing the whole time, pressing down and hinging forward, but you're not going to pop and lift, pop and lift. You're just going to keep seeing where you can go, but pressing into the ball to keep your spine tall as you hinge forward. So just hold on to that for a little bit, please. A couple of seconds for a nice stretch. And then go ahead and sit back up. All right, and now we're gonna be using kind of the length of the room. And so I'm gonna take my mat, I'm gonna fold it back. It's gonna give me some support in my knees, and I'm gonna have a lot of empty space out in front of me. You guys many of you have done this with me before, so you probably know where we're headed. So we're gonna be on our knees, and we're gonna crouch. Trying to get the elbows right up against the thigh, trying to get the forearm and the upper arm touching, and you're down low on the ball. You don't want to be up here, down low. You have to have somewhere to go. And then you're going to start to roll forward. You're going to lift all 10 toes up in the air. That's going to allow you to roll onto the tops of your thighs, fronts of your thighs, and then you extend it out. And then you're going to pull your elbows in to come back. So it's a plank pike. The intense part is both the pike, the plank here, but then curl back, that's your pike, should be pretty intense. Rolling forward and pulling in. You don't have to come all the way in. You just want to come in until you really feel that work. So I'm just coming in kind of to right where the tops of my kneecaps and my quads meet. Couple more here. Last one, challenge, go out into your plank, tuck your hips, pull your belly button in, straighten your arms, go deeper, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ooh, pull that under your abs, and you get to flop. My favorite part, maybe yours too. Right now, babe? Okay. While you're here, you're just going to slide your feet onto the outsides of your mat, tuck your toes, and straighten your legs. So that ball now is right underneath your hips. Bring your hands to the ball and give yourself a nice extension. And then come down just to neutral and press up. So getting a little bit of a passive stretch in the abs and getting some extension in the spine. For a little more challenge, come up just onto your fingertips. So now you have to start working those low back muscles, those glutes and hammies. And then, of course, if you want to make it full extension, you bring your hands off the ball and you let the upper body, that low back area, glutes and hammies do the work. All right, then we're going to put our hands down and we're going to roll forward until our hips tip up. So they're the highest part of our body. And then you can lift just your right leg and bring it down. Left leg, bring it down. Right arm with your upper body, bring it down. Left arm with your upper body. Now lift your right leg and your left arm, try and stay on the ball and bring that down. Right arm, left leg, and bring it down. So bird dog here. And then relax. Let your body tip back into that inverted V. Bring your feet together and you're going to lift your legs up together. So now we're in that reverse hyperextension. So I'm still working the same area of the body, but it's in that reverse way. And then bring those feet up so that they're parallel with the rest of your body. Walk your hands forward so you have at least a foot of space in front of the ball. Hands are right underneath you. You're going to bend your elbows backwards, allow the upper body to come down the same amount the lower body comes up, and press away. Bend and press away. And bend and press away. Keep going, bending the elbows and pressing straight. Bending the elbows and pressing straight. Good. If you need more challenge, you walk your hands a little further forward. That'll slide more of your upper body off the ball. So now you have increased intensity because more of your body weight is over those arms. Couple more. And relax. Let's stay here and you're in a beautiful plank. You want to make sure you're not slopping through your legs. They are lifted. Your quads are engaged. Your shoulders are out of your ears. If that's good enough, stay there. For more challenge, walk your hands forward. Drag that ball underneath your thighs. Press away. Stay lifted tall. For more challenge, walk your hands even further out ahead. Slide that ball underneath your shins. Press the ball away. Be tall and strong. You can work a little harder by dragging that ball all the way underneath your ankles. Press away. Super strong move here. Holding If you need to come out of it, preferably just put a foot down on the ground. And then as you are ready, we're all gonna come back to that block. Should feel really good. All right, and then we're gonna play from here, just like we did earlier, with how many limbs we can get off the ball. This is kind of about physics and biomechanics, how much of your upper body and how much of your lower body are off the ball, where is the center of your body. You're gonna see if you could Superman. Fly, arms, legs, reaching. If your face gets close to the floor, please don't plant it there, put your hands down instead. And when you've had just about enough of that, plot back, get that relaxation once again. All right, and now we're gonna work that booty a little bit more, still working those abs. So I'm gonna keep my mat folded up and I'm gonna slide right in front of it. So I'm not really on the mat, my ball is on the floor, and then I'm gonna roll back. And then I'm gonna put my legs on the ball. Life is good. Well, this is another favorite position, just nice and relaxed here. You know that's not gonna last. Deep breath in, find a neutral spine. Ribs pull down, abs are engaged, hips are lengthened on the floor, and then hands help you press up into your first bridge pose. If you feel unstable, go wider stance, just like before. More challenge, feet together. More challenge, what? No hands, ma, right? So that's perfectly good right there. You're working all those little balance muscles, body trying to figure out where it is in space. But you could also lift a leg up and down 3 times. You might want to put your hands down before you try that, but if you are super coordinated, you can try it without. All right, that was level 1. I think we all were able to do that. So if you want to do level 2, you progress, otherwise stay there. Level 2, I'm gonna roll that ball forward so my feet are on the face of the ball, sort of 1 o'clock. Obviously my hips are higher. Again, more stability is feet wide, more challenge, feet together. And if I want to do that single leg, I might bring 1 leg at a time. I'm probably gonna have my hands on the ground. You're gonna do 3 lift and lowers. And then if you want that last level of challenge, this is the final level, don't have to go there, but you can. I'm gonna bring that ball so that just my heels are digging into it. Whoop, my hips are very high. This will feel pretty challenging, that might be enough. But again, if you want, you lift and lower 1 leg 3 times. Heels only on the ball. And then the good news is we're all coming down and going back to the first position. The bad news is we're not done. So then the last thing we're gonna do is a hamstring glute combo. Once again, take a deep breath in through your nose, exhale through your mouth, pull your ribs down, make contact as they're pulled down towards those hips, neutral spine, hips off the ground. This isn't so bad. Roll them in, hamstring curls. So you are welcome to stay with this double leg hamstrings, just as we've learned before. We can put the feet closer for more balance challenge. That's also going to work those smaller 2 muscles, semimembranosus, semitendinosus, that are towards the midline of your body. But if you want the big challenge, 1 leg, try maybe 5. Keep the hips lifted. And other leg, if you did 1 leg. And then everything down. We're going to take 1 more break before we do the glute section, because I'm being nice and not making you go right into it. Your lucky day. Deep breath in, exhale, roll the ball in nice and close. Knees are right over me. Get ready, get set, hips lift and lower, up, down. If you feel it too much in your back, it's a small lift. You want bigger range of motion, that's fine. Press into the ball, feel your glutes, feel your hammies. Almost there. 3, 2, 1. All right, let your left leg rest on the ball. Let your right ankle rest over that. And then hug that ball in using your left leg. So we've got a deep stretch on that right hip. We're going to increase it by sliding that knee and that ankle a little further across toward the left side, intensifying that stretch. You can drag your left knee in even closer for more intensity. Then let that leg mosey off to the left, and I'm going to bring the right knee into my chest and toward my armpit. Get a nice hug, maybe get a little bit of a low back stretch there. And then I'm going to roll that ball back through center. Right foot goes on the ball, left ankle crosses. I'm going to roll the ball toward me to start to stretch that left hip. And then I'm going to intensify by sliding that leg a little further across, trying to press the knee open and the ankle back so they're on the same plane without twerking my body too much. Twerking, not twerking. And then bring that in if you want. Ooh. And then roll that right leg to the side, left knee comes in, little hamstring low, little low back stretch. Beautiful, both legs rest. Let's just let those arms relax up and overhead for a moment. And then we'll roll the ball toward us and we'll just gently make our way up. We're going to be sitting beside the ball on our knees. So again, you might want to keep that mat doubled up. Knees are together side by side, ball is on your right hip. You're just going to lean into it. Then that left leg comes in front, right leg comes behind. So you've got wide support and you're supporting yourself with your right hand. You're going to start by just using that arm to help you lift up. If you don't need that, you go to your spider fingers. If you don't need that, you do no hands. If you want, you can lift that top arm. So working those obliques, feeling that. Working all the way, remember those obliques wrap around, so working that full range, all parts. 3 more, 2, last one, stay lifted, poke a hole in the ceiling for 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna take that top arm, wrap it up and over and around, and that should give you a beautiful stretch on that side of the low back that you were working, those obliques on that side. And come up, we're going to shift over to the other side. You can unfold your mat if you want, doesn't really matter. You can move it, whatever works for you. We're going to lean up against that ball with our left hip. We're going to take that right leg in front, left leg behind, nice stagger, good support. And again, I'm going to use my arm to help me lift. Then I'm going to go into my spider fingers. Maybe I can do this with no hands. Maybe both arms. Just 2 more. And then we stay up, we poke a hole in the ceiling for 4, 3, 2, 1. Up and over with that arm, relax into it. And then last couple of exercises here, we're going to come onto that right hip again. Only this time I get to put my right hand on the ground for support, but my legs are not straddled, they're going to be stacked. So little extra challenge. Try and be in a long straight line. If it's really challenging, you could tip those feet in front by hinging at the hip. Otherwise, long straight line in your body, top leg comes up, tiny little circles to the front, 3, 2, 1 to the back. To the front, bigger circles, maybe they're baseball or basketball size this time, and reverse. And then bigger circles to the front. Last one, reverse. And then ronde-jean, so as big as that ball is, can you make that circle without falling off your ball? Remember, you promised. I promised too. And then I'm trying to be a little too aggressive, and then reverse. And relax. Ooh, we'll get those hips in a minute. Other side, so ball goes up against your left hip. Up and over you go, left hand is on the ground. This time your feet are stacked. Long straight line in your body. Top leg, try and get it to hip height. Tiny circles in front and in back. Bigger circles front. Last one and back. Bigger circles front and back. And then you choose how big can you make that circle without endangering yourself or your cat. In reverse. And relax. Woo, all right, fun stretch for most people. We're gonna come into a little crouch here. So my knees are folded completely, my head is resting on the ball, it already feels kind of good. I could open my arms and get a beautiful chest expansion. If I want a little more, I'm gonna roll so that ball comes under me. It supports my head. I am passively feeling those pectoral muscles get a stretch. If you really want it even more, and you don't get vertigo or have osteoporosis or any blood pressure or thyroid issues, you could go all the way back, up and over. I'm not going to stay there. That was just a quick demo. Wherever you are, feeling that beautiful stretch, but mostly across your chest. And then when you're ready, tuck your chin and begin to roll that ball underneath you again so that you end up sitting nice and tall on the ball. And I'm just going to flip around, so I'm facing you for the last couple stretches here. So we're going to start. We are on the ball balancing, but if you use your hands, it really is a little more helpful. Left leg is going to come across the right one. Notice if you're squishing into the ball, use your hands to sit tall. So already we're getting that thread the needle stretch. You can flex your heel. You can press that knee open. If you need more, you're going to press your hips back and hinge forward. Now this next one might be a little more challenging. If you can cross that leg all the way over and then drag it across. Deeper stretch in that hip. If you want, you could rotate this into a twist, but again, only if that feels safe for you. Rotate back out, uncross, press yourself tall. Right leg goes across the left. Lift up out of that, try and flex through that heel. Try and open that knee down toward the ground. And if you want more, roll that ball behind you still with a tall, long spine. Option to cross that leg over, press it across, or even rotate into a little twist. Back through center, uncross. We get to go nice wide legs this time. Open into that cow, extend, exhale, round into that cat. Open cow, move through every little vertebra. If you find a sticky spot, stay there and give yourself an extra breath. See if you can get movement. Wherever you need your legs to be to get this is fine. Couple more. And then we're going to come back to center. We're going to go back to a little bouncy movement. We're going to start to lift up a little bit. I'm going to count down from 4 to 1. When we get to 1, we're going to stand up. So again, you're a ballerina from your head up. You're not horse taken away with you. Here we go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Come on up. Thank you guys very much.